All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
This is the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with Pat Devaney, my husband, fellow realtor.
Good morning, Jackie.
How's it going today?
Very good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. We have with us for the second week in a row, Alana Roberts, Manager of Community Relations at PPL.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
You know, I still say PP and L. I told you that last week.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That is fine.
That's okay.
All right. We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m., where we talk real estate. We have a full-time real estate office with many relentless realtors who've been guiding, assisting, and advising clients in real estate matters for 50-plus years.
During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com. Or you can give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you're at jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab. We have viewers from all over the world. We really do. We have a heat map I get to see, and we get viewers from all over the world. And this time of the year, you can check out the road conditions and see what's going on.
Yeah. Isn't there someone in Mexico and Australia?
Mexico, Australia.
No one from China.
No China. Nobody in Asia, but there's people in the Ukraine looking at us. I don't know what that means.
Uh-huh. Well, that's very interesting. Wouldn't you like to be able to reach out and say,
Hey, who are you?
you know,
There's somebody in Kansas who's always looking at it. I see it.
I think that person called us
Yes, he
and
did.
thanked us for the webcam because it brings back childhood memories. So that's always good to hear. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest. View our listings, search the MLS listings, and listen to archive radio shows by going to mobile-friendly JRUDDY.com, where we also have all the popular podcast apps that we feature the radio show on. And I'd like to say hi to my doctor, Dr. Zulata, my chiropractor. He just stumbled upon our radio show, and he brought it up at my last visit. So thank you for listening, Doctor, and hope you're enjoying the program. But how long have we been doing it?
10, 12 years. Billy Griffiths listens all the time, too.
Yes. Hello, Billy and Jim Seaman.
Yep.
And Eileen and Jim.
Yep. Out in Long Island.
And Regina and Bobby.
Yep.
So we have a long list of faithful, loyal listeners. With us today, Alana Roberts, Manager of Community Relations at PPL. How are you today?
I'm well. Thank you.
All right. So last week we talked about all the different things about PPL and energy efficiency and saving tips and how to shop for a supplier. And I wanted to talk about, we were talking about the smart thermostats and the benefits of being able to control your smart thermostat from anywhere in the world, right? Mm-hmm. And there's also appliances, electric appliances that feature is on. And that makes it very convenient for people. So electric appliances also are known to be safer, right? No open flames and no gas leaks, potential for puncturing gas lines. We don't move
the stove.
Right. We were always so worried about that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
The gas line is flexible, and we're always worried about it every time we move it. And the dryer we have is electric also, and it doesn't get quite as hot as the gas dryer, but it's very important when you have an electric dryer or any dryer to maintain it. The buildup of lint inside these machines is unbelievable. You should have a pro come once in a while, every couple of years, and look at it and clean it out. Because once you open it up and you take the drum out, you'll be amazed what's inside those.
That's really important tip. I mean, safety, of course, working at PPL is a top priority for our employees, but it's really a top priority in our community, too. We start every meeting at PPL with a safety tip, and I think I'm going to use that one at my next meeting.
All right.
Because that is a real safety
It's amazing
risk.
when you open a dryer. I've had to do work on the dryer, and you say, oh, we're very clean. We clean the lint filter. We clean the vent. But when you open it up, it's amazing, amazing how much lint is in there. It builds up over the years.
And there's an argument that say that electric appliances in all electric homes are quieter. And how about the air quality, indoor air quality?
Yeah, better indoor air quality as
right?
well. Mm-hmm.
So, so there's a lot of advantages and benefits to having electric appliances. And, so it's contributing to a safer environment and cost effectiveness as well. So those are all the things that people can appreciate when they have electric appliances, right? How about technology at PP&L? That's changed over the years, right?
Oh, that is a great segue. I'm thinking as you're talking about things that you have plugged into your house and all the things that we rely on every day that are plugged in, that once the power goes out, we start thinking about, oh my gosh, how am I going to charge this? Or how is my food going to stay cold? So technology, in order to keep the power on a PPL, is a priority. PPL is over 100 years old, and for most of those years, just maybe in the last decade or two, power traveled in one direction. It was made at a power plant, it traveled through the lines and got to your home where you used it. It's different now. People make electricity at their home, whether that be solar panels or windmills or different things. We call that distributed energy generation. And so PPL has had to adapt and develop and implement new technology for two-way flow of power. Because if you're a lineman working on the lines, you need to know where the power is coming from. It could be coming from a home as well with solar panels that's feeding into the lines. So safety is important, but also that two-way flow of power is now really critical to maintain. So, this SmartGrid technology that we've developed, we say we're trying to be the utility of the future, right? Just to keep the power on, that's what you expect from your utility. That's not magic. You're not excited to pay your bill to do that. It's like, no, that's what I paid for. You better do that. But we want to really reduce outages, reduce outage time. If your power only goes out for a few seconds, that's because we've automatically sensed an outage and have rerouted power around that problem.
There's no person involved in that. It just does it automatically.
There is no person involved in that. It does it automatically. Different Viper devices, and we have all these MOBABs, different names for these things. But every circuit in our system, again, we're in 29 counties, have 1.4 million customers. Every single circuit, we're the only utility in the nation that has every circuit with a SmartGrid device. And so you see that impact, and that hopefully you're not seeing power outages. So that's the number one benefit. But it provides so many other benefits. And, we're hearing of people who are interested in renewable resources for their home. So putting a solar panel becomes a lot easier in that scenario. And 90% of the people who apply to put solar on their home are approved by us within 24 hours. So whereas we don't generate electricity, we want the choices that our customers are making to be as easy and reasonably cost as possible. And we want to be efficient in our response.
So I put a solar panel on my house, and I'm no longer taking electricity in. I'm sending electricity out. I'm selling it back to you.
You can sell it if you make enough electricity that you're not using it. You can sell that back to us. Yep, at the default rate price. So that price to compare price, that's what we would pay you for the excess electricity that you put back into the grid.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Is that where a smart meter comes in? We talked about smart meters last time you were here a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I mean, we have a new-ish smart meter project. In the last 5 years, every PPL customer has gotten an upgrade to their meter. And so that lets you control your electric usage in real time. It lets us automatically connect or disconnect your power. So instead of having to schedule a disconnection and roll a truck out and do it, we can now do that remotely. So there's a lot of benefits to that, but also that two-way flow of power is another.
So no more manpower out there checking reading meters?
Yeah, no, we haven't had meter readers at our utility in a long time. Even before this version of smart meters, the prior version were also smart, so we didn't have meter readers at that point either. But PPL is still sort of a manpower company. I think you can't really see our product. You can't see electricity, but hopefully what you think of when you think of PPL is our line trucks and our line workers. They're very visible in our white trucks with our blue stripes, driving around, responding to a variety of things. Maybe there's a fire at a home and we need an immediate disconnection for the safety. Or, you guys are in the home business. Homes need to be torn down, and, that has to be a safe process. New home construction, you need an electric service either to build the home, or the home is a spec building, and some businesses moving in and they may have a large electric need, and we need to be able to supply that for them. And we're trying to do that as quickly and safely as possible.
So, Alana, on my way here today, speaking of your big white trucks,
Yeah. We have
Being-
those.
I know where this is going.
being top of mind,
Yeah.
I'm barreling along Kaiser Avenue at a nice steady speed, not underperforming and not
The
going.
Goldilocks speed.
Yes, not going over the speed limit because I observe the speed limit.
Is it 70 on Kaiser Avenue?
So, anyway, I'm just going about my business. I have one mission to get here on time. And out from a side parking lot comes a big white PPL truck.
No, UGI. No, UGI. It's
Yeah,
the gas company.
no,
It wasn't
Well, it
electric.
depends on where the story is
Okay,
going.
okay.
We'll see.
No. It just abruptly changed my peace of mind. Let me just tell you that. But I made it here and I was able to brake because I was not speeding.
Thank God.
And I didn't have to crash into this PPL truck. But yeah, you were top of mind before you came here this morning.
Yeah, I guess I was.
I didn't get any license plates, so I mean, all is good.
You might
But-
have got yours, so you better be careful.
Yeah, okay. But no, they cut in front of me. They didn't get mine.
Okay.
All right. So I just had to throw that in there. And so what about artificial intelligence?
Some of the technology that we're using may not necessarily in artificial intelligence, but sort of more mechanized and more data driven, I would say, is the technology. We use a lot of drones now to inspect our lines. We were talking earlier about transmission lines, the larger poles that cover more ground. So they're up high, the voltages are high. Using drones to inspect those to see when there's problems. Using thermo imaging, so you can see if there's a fault in a line or even a potential fault by taking infrared thermal cameras. So we're using those cameras. We have. I'm trying to think of like some of the other. It's hard to talk about technology. But we have a lot of predictive technology on things. So back in the day, if a line was said to last 30 years, then on the 29th year, you started planning to change it. And on the 30th year, you changed it. Well, now maybe only a component of that needs to be changed. And we don't need to tear the whole thing apart and spend $100 million. We can spend $100,000 and just change the parts that need to be. So we're saving customers money by using this predictive technology that really isolates changes that need to be made instead of having big overhauls of equipment, which is really costly in this industry.
Also, you do a lot. There's a tree that I have in mind. You do a lot of tree cutting, right?
We do.
Okay.
Yes, I see the trees growing through the wires, and
There's one on North Washington Avenue, and every time I'm sitting at the light, New York, and is it Larch? It's Larch in North Washington.
that's right where the switching
PPL
station
Service
is.
Center is, yeah.
Yeah, so there's the lines, the power lines that run along North Washington.
Oh, that's right. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, and there's a tree. It's the funniest looking tree because if you're looking up in the sky as you're waiting for the light to change from red to green, you see this tree, and I know it didn't grow this way. So, yeah, you must have
They
had...
cut around it. They cut around the wires. It looks like a big Y. The tree looks like a big Y.
Yeah. Well, trees are the number one cause of outages. So if you're in the business of keeping the power on, then managing trees successfully is very important. At PPL, we care about the weather, right? I get 3 weather reports a day. If it's going to be windy and maybe there's leaves on the trees and a light snow or even a medium snow is expected and it's going to weigh those limbs down, we're going to see outages. So we've got to get ahead of those where possible, which means pretty aggressive vegetation management, pretty aggressive tree cutting, and getting those getting those branches away from the line so that when the wind comes, when the storms come, that those trees don't come down and take the power out. We have different cycles. Every 4 years we might trim a line. But we're working with shade tree commissions. I mean, you're talking about Scranton. Scranton cares about their shade trees. They've had a forester for many years. Much more. I think there are Tree City USA, Arbor Day Foundation. They're involved in a lot of those. So we work with them where possible. I know it looks like we went in and chopped, right? And in some cases, that's what is.
It looks like
have
it
to
does. It looks like a bad haircut.
It's a
sometimes.
safety thing, and I get it. But it's funny to look at, and I remark about it sometimes. But how about the ice and now we're in that time of year?
Tis the season
right.
for ice storms. And
Heavy
that.
snow and ice and wreaks havoc.
It does. Yeah. It's a trade-off. We're all involved in many trade-offs in our lives. And one of them in the electric industry is, how much do you want that electricity? During an ice storm that might happen in February, if temperatures are 10 degrees, there's a lot of repercussions from a power outage, right? Frozen pipes, to loss of life, maybe even if temperatures are that cold. So for a safety concern like that, keeping the power on is important. To me, there's some justification about aggressively cutting trees, but everybody's different. It's a trade-off.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you're talking about weather and natural. In Mother Nature and some things that can happen that affect our lives. And sometimes we're given, a little warning, when the weather is right, which is very few and far between times. But other than that, there's those things that you don't plan for. And so we had a neighbor that hit a pole.
Yep.
And so we were down, our electric was down. And I think that person may have had a one or two drinks and landed in a pole, and we were out. So, things happen, though, and we're never, sometimes we're caught off guard.
Yeah.
We're not prepared. But something I read recently was, if you don't have candles, and we have candles in one of our kitchen drawers, just in case we're out of, our lights are out, power's out. I read something that probably on Facebook.
It's got to be true.
It's got to be true. Did you know that if you don't have candles, for those people that don't have candles, you can burn a crayon? Never knew that. And it'll give you some light.
I think my safety message is hopefully have some LED light backups, because when I hear of a power outage and candles and a house fire, I think, that was preventable. Candles are one thing in an emergency kit, but there are also sort of other backup battery sources of light which are safer than open flame. Because how many times do we light a candle and forget?
Right. You got a cat or something like that, or children, or.
Well, how do you keep that crayon
I
propped
have
up?
no idea.
They say, okay, did you know that you can light this crayon, which I did not try.
I'm going to go home and buy some crayons and see what's going on.
Right. So we
I
have
like magenta. Let's try some magenta.
Okay, but we have a bucket of crayons, right? So we could use if we ever have that situation. But how do you prop it up? Right? So think about that, right? So.
I don't know. I have 24-hour emergency candles that are supposed to burn for 24 hours in a case in the garage next to my generator. So I'm ready.
I have a question for you, if you don't mind, because I think talking about emergency planning is really important with power outages. What else is in your emergency kit?
What do I have?
Yeah. What do you have? What should people have in their emergency kit at home in case of a long-term power outage?
I'm like.
We have a generator.
We have two generators. We have two gas generators. I also built a solar generator with 500-watt panels and I have a 24-volt.
So we're
5,000
all going to your
watt
house
inverter.
then. So I don't need an
thinks they're
emergency
coming
kit
to my
because I
house.
could come over.
Yeah.
I have gas stoves that I can use gasoline to burn to power the stoves. I have food.
I think things like canned food.
I do. I have that.
And water and some of those portable battery chargers are good to have. A flashlight.
I have lots of them.
Okay.
I'm
just thinking when I'm talking to the public, like big storm is coming, someone always asks, how do we prepare? Well, they say, how's PPL preparing? And I tell them, but then I say, how can you prepare? And that's always a worthwhile discussion.
I like to buy shoes.
Okay.
A lot of females do.
Yeah.
Pat likes to buy flashlights.
So you have a lot of...
Oh, yeah. No, we're ready. I'm ready.
A lot of flashlights.
Everybody's coming to my house.
Lots of flashlights.
When it ends, they're all coming to my house.
There you go. And we could probably fit the town in our house.
I have
right?
Pat on my Secret Santa. So now I know what I can get him.
Okay.
I plan on having electricity no matter what.
Battery operated AM FM radio.
There you go.
Yes, yes.
All right. Good.
I have several of them. I do.
Pat, would you like to do a listing?
Oh,
on
yes,
that
I
note?
do. Yes.
Okay.
We have a beautifully built 2-bedroom ranch-style home. It's at 601 Miles Avenue in the desirable Miles Plot neighborhood in Dixon City for $209,000. This home has cove plaster walls to the ceiling, beautiful hardwood floors throughout, built-in storage, plus 2 closets in the hallway, large windows, a freshly painted interior. This home, it's got a breezeway that separates the home from the one-car garage. All of this on a 60 by 115 lot with beautiful landscaping. That's a well-built 2-bedroom home at 601 Miles Avenue in Dixon City for $209,000, and that's listed by Debbie Cohut of our office.
Time for a break, so we'll be back shortly with more Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. In your past real estate experiences, did you find most agents were mediocre? At Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, we defy mediocrity by being relentless. Don't settle for average. Contact the Relentless at Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. We have an excellent track record of serving the community for 50 plus years. Call 570-344-6724 or visit jruddy.com. That's jruddy.com. We are back with more Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with Pat Devaney, my husband, fellow realtor.
And we're back.
With Alana Roberts, manager of community relations at PPL.
All right.
Got it.
We were talking during the break.
Before you go, I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
So we seem to be prepared.
Yes,
In the
this
event,
is what I was going to get
yes,
to.
okay. In the event of a power outage.
Yes.
I'm
very prepared.
Very, very, very prepared. Have you ever had to use any of these generators, backup systems that you have?
Not once. Not once. And the over 10 years that I've had everything set up, I'm waiting.
Because there will be a time.
Can you have them turn it off so I can have a drive
Just to
run?
try it out?
Just to make sure that everything works as it
Yeah,
should?
I think we can schedule something like that.
Can you talk to that smart
I have
meter?
to say, I'm kind of excited about this. Okay.
Might be an explosion.
I mean, I know that you're invested and you're excited, but I'm glad that the power is staying on, right? Like, that's the story I want to hear.
So what are you, like 99% reliable?
Yeah, we are. I mean, really, every customer's power, we don't even have one interruption per customer per year. We're less than that. So
Wow.
some customers' power never goes out, and then a few customers have multiple interruptions per year. Hopefully, they're short. I mean, we didn't even really get into it yet, but whether you believe in climate change as a natural or man-made thing, we're getting more storms. Storms are more frequent and more severe. And when storms are the number one cause of power outages, you get more power outages. So you got to work harder to prevent them. So I would say in that case, we talked about preparation, continue to prepare, but hopefully even with these storms, we won't see power outage like you're describing.
Okay.
So it's nice to have a backup, right?
Yes, yes.
So,
Have a backup.
You
and a
gotta have
backup
Plan.
to a backup.
Plan.
And a
Yeah.
backup to a backup.
I see
to a
these
backup.
commercials all the time for a whole house generator for backup, and it looks like a real good idea, but I'm saying I've never needed it.
Yeah, even in rural areas where there's a lot of trees, again, trees are the number one cause of outages. It's still a big investment
Yes,
for
it is.
really how much is the power going out? Maybe once or twice. I mean, if we have a few circuits that are troublesome, where the entire set of poles runs through the woods, and if you wanted to get back there to do a repair, you're taking a snowmobile, you're taking a boat. Like it could be a while if you're out. In those cases, perhaps that's an important investment, a generator. But for how much the power goes out at PPL's service territory, it may not be necessary.
Very good. All right. So what about community programs?
Yeah, let's talk about those.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit here.
We'll mix it up, but I think still in the talking about emergencies, we feel we have a responsibility to the communities that we serve to make them better places to live and work. Perhaps in realty, you get a sense of community when you're selling a home, right? So we want to build on that sense of community. Various groups are important to us, but certainly one of them are first responders, because first responders are on the scene, trying to make the scene safe. Electricity is involved in a lot of these fire scenes or car accidents. So we have this live line exhibit. It's actually an electrified trailer that it has poles and wires attached to it. It was built by our own employees. It gets pulled behind one of our trucks, and we take it out for free to contractors, to volunteer fire companies, anyone who is working around our lines and needs to understand the dangers of electricity. Here's this presentation. And our linemen work the exhibit, give the presentation. They put up a ladder to the pole and show the arc between the ladder and the pole. They have a Mylar balloon and show that if a kid was holding a Mylar balloon and that balloon touched the wire and their hand, that's now a path to ground, and that is now a dangerous situation. They demonstrate underground electricity and the dangers of underground as well as above ground. So this is something that, again, any volunteer fire company who is looking to train their volunteer staff, ensure the safety is available to them, and we take it around for free.
I've been at fires. I was a fireman in New York City, and I've been to more than one fire where the house was on fire and the wires going to the house had fallen down. Mm-hmm. And one time they fell down on top of the rig.
Yeah.
And it looked like we couldn't get off the rig because and you could see it looked like there was weld marks up on top of the rig, and the wire fell off. Another time the wire fell down and it was on a wire, and a guy touched the fence and he got knocked down. So high tension wires, I've been to it all. So this is it's vital.
There's nothing more important than
vital.
The safety of
life and death
of the people in the communities that we serve. So beyond that, kids need to understand electrical safety, outlets in the home. I remember being educated on it when I was a kid, but we also we have a goal to educate every elementary school student in our service territory about electrical safety, and not just like a coloring book and a handout. We hired the National Theater for Children, which is a national company that does an electrical safety play. So they go to the school and they make it fun. They wear costumes and they tell a story, and they have like a bunch of kind of memorable sayings that they ask the kids to repeat about water and electricity not mixing and being safe around electricity. So again, and schools can sign up for that. We even made them virtual during COVID, so we didn't stop. We have 125,000 students so far educated about electrical safety through that program. And one of our employees wrote a children's book. It's illustrated. It goes through some of the tenets of electrical safety in a fun way. And we mailed a copy to every library in our service territory of that book, too. And I hand it out all the time. Like I was down at Scranton, the tower lighting for the holidays, handing out electrical safety books, talking to the kids about electrical safety. Again, nothing is more important than the safety of the people in our communities.
Nothing. You're right. Safety first. Alana Roberts, Manager of Community Relations with PPL. How does someone get in touch with PPL, please?
Call 1-800-DIAL-PPL. You can have any concern, and one of our customer service representatives will walk you through what to do.
And pplelectric.com is your website.
Is our website to learn about saving for electricity, choosing an electrical supplier, any of the programs that we offer, sign up.
And one more time, last week we talked about if people want to shop rates, they can go to...
If you want to shop for your electric rate, go to papowerswitch.com, enter your zip code, and you'll have a bunch of choices to decide on which supplier you'd like.
So we appreciate you.
Thank you.
The last 2 weeks, you coming in here. Thank you very much.
I've enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
And I'm going to still say it's, the second, third week in January. Happy, healthy New Year to you and your family.
And you as well.
Thank you. Pat?
Yes, we have a gorgeous 4-bedroom, 2-bath home at 3218 Greenwood Avenue in Scranton for $249,000. This raised ranch home has been recently renovated with beautiful hardwood floors, new windows, new central air conditioning and heating, off-street parking. The best part about this home is you should go to jruddy.com and look at it, is the bathrooms. They did these bathrooms over. They look like they should be in a magazine. There's stone and there's tile and there's glass. So go to jruddy.com and look at 3218 Greenwood Avenue. It's an amazing home. It's a 4-bedroom raised ranch home, and it's for $249,000, and it's listed by Connie Seagraves of our office.
Remember to tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m. to listen to more of the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. and 94.3 The Talker.